Apple shares moving higher this morning. Want to get more on Apple's tariff strategy right now from Steve Kovach after we had this sort of, on one side we hear one thing, then we hear another thing, then we hear another thing. Apparently, the market seems to think that things are better for Apple right now.
Yeah, it was up 5% last time I looked. And let me try my best here to kind of lay out what happened on Friday night and through the weekend. So first of all, those Liberation Day tariffs, Apple's getting an exemption for those. That's because of phones, computers, et cetera, all fall into that category. But the tariffs are still on Apple because the so-called fentanyl tariffs, those are the 20% ones that went into effect earlier this year, those are still in effect. But other countries are now back to those pre-April 9th levels. That gives Apple all the options it had before to mitigate the effects of these tariffs. That includes things like diverting production to countries like India. We hear about that so often, and Vietnam. The 10% tariffs on those countries are gone. And this was the hope all along. Remember, going into the Trump administration, Cook had made that $1 million donation to the inauguration. He also showed up at the inauguration with all those other big tech CEOs. And everyone thought the tariff exceptions were mostly baked in before the last couple of weeks. Also gone, guys, no more chatter about building iPhones in the USA, for now at least, because we heard what Secretary Lutnick has been saying on the Sunday shows yesterday. These exemptions could be temporary. They're going to start looking at some national security issues related to chips and all these devices. And then as Joe was just saying, Trump saying, no one's off the hook yet. So right now, this is great news. Just 20% instead of 145% in China.
Right, but does Apple believe that that is the long-term case? Because if you listen to Lutnick, you'd think maybe something else is coming. And then you get to the bigger question, which is if the Trump administration is in fact trying to bring manufacturing of semiconductors and phones and other things like that that they think are important for national security,
right,
for our supply chains, our resilience, all of those things, the leverage point is an Apple. The leverage point is these things. It's not so clear to me, at least, that the goal is to bring back manufacturing Nikes or manufacturing other apparel in the U.S. That was never the sort of stated goal.
Right. And, well, it was the stated goal from some of the people around Trump's orbit, right? I mean, we heard Lutnick saying so often that we're going to see the manufacturing come back here. Either robots or humans or both are going to be building all these iPhones.
In terms of the leverage point, this was the leverage point.
This was the leverage point, and that is gone now, right? Because, like I said, the discussion now is gone around bringing these iPhone manufacturing to the United States, because Bloomberg had a great report over the weekend about just the huge increase in India output for these iPhones. We've been seeing that since the COVID days, when all the shutdowns affected their ability to manufacture in China because of factories getting shut down and so forth. They moved so much to India, and year over year, we just see these enormous increases of how many iPhones are being made in India. And now that, first of all, last week they got the reprieve from the reciprocal tariffs. Now they have the reprieve from the overall, everything is gone. They have this overall exemption now. That is great news for them to really step on the gas in China, in Vietnam, and stay away from manufacturing so much in China. But again, at least 80 to 90% of iPhones are still made in China. That is still going to be a problem.